I want to start this video off by sharing some advice that I got from my physical therapist. Because for years, ever since I was like in my early 20s, I got out of the military, I had this pain underneath my shoulder blade, and I couldn't figure out what the issue was. And it wasn't until I went to a physical therapist and they showed me an exercise I wasn't doing, because I've done plenty of exercises, pull-ups, shoulder shrugs, bent over shoulder rolls, stretches, try and hang from pull-up bars. And through this video, I'm going to share everything I've learned and the reason why, the way I think may be a good learning lesson for a lot of you out there. Okay, so first thing I'm gonna do is just show you the exercise. So like I said, the pain was on my shoulder blade, so he gave me this rubber band. I've never exercised with a rubber band like this before, but this is an actual physical therapist, and he gave me this band. It's about 6 feet, 6'2", 6'6" maybe. And actually, here's a good comparison, because I'm 6 feet tall. Yeah, it's just a little bit taller than me. So you take this band and you grab it, palms up, with your elbows right on your side, tight against your side. Pull this tight, of course, and you go out like this. And this strengthens up that muscle that a lot of us have been neglecting over the years. I don't see very many people online talking about this exercise at all, probably because it doesn't look cool. It doesn't involve any big weights. I'm a little bit stronger, so I double it up, and I take it on the ends and I wrap it on my hands like this to get it so it doesn't move off my hands, so it's nice and secure. And I'm going to rotate around so you can see the muscles getting activated that you work out with this exercise. The muscles that are neglected by a lot of us, which lead to a lot of pain, because sometimes it's the neglecting of certain exercise, neglecting certain muscles that lead to a lot of pain that we have throughout our entire body. So like I said, I had pain under my shoulder blade, and you can even see from the front that my abs kind of flex this weird way that I don't normally flex my abs. But when I do this exercise, your body is going to adapt to what it needs to be able to do this movement, right? So you see my abs, they go in a little weird, like when I do this. It's just natural. And I'm not taking my shirt off to flex, to stunt, to look cool or anything. Honestly, I don't need compliments or anything like that. This isn't the reason why I do it. It's just to hopefully maybe I could help out any people who were young like me and neglected their body. I was in the military years ago, Navy construction battalion, Seabees, and we go to places like Afghanistan, and we build the bases up. See, I haven't even done 20 of these already, and it's already like really tight. Let me turn to the back so you can see. And hopefully you see the muscles that are contracting by my shoulder blade. Jeez. You really feel it on those last reps. And I remember when I was younger, always wanted to be in shape. I wanted to be like the guys you see in the magazines. But there's a total negative side when you do a lot of this stuff for vanity reasons that it's just not really talked about. A lot of people don't talk about the downside of lifting all these heavy weights but not having a proper diet. It almost seems like having a proper diet isn't the cool thing these days, or even in the past. Something I've seen like a lot of big influencers do is they tell people what they do, and then people just blindly just copy what they do. Like someone like Joe Rogan, I've seen him talking about his carnivore diet, and he has his shirt off and he may be able to see his abdomen, but something that shouldn't be there is he has a really bloated stomach. His stomach is like, he almost has no waistline. It's just like he's a square, like a rectangle, like a big old square. Like there's no, like you see how slim my waist is? How this is the slimness right here? Because my gut isn't filled up with buildup of waste food that gets left behind in your gut. You know, that can give you like a distorted look, you know, especially when you get older, because over time, the buildup increases more and more and more because certain foods you eat have a negative side effect of leaving traces behind you. You know, it just gets left in your gut, you know, because your body can't properly digest them, especially if you're only having like this super carnivore diet, because we're not carnivores. If we were carnivores, we'd have teeth like a cheetah or a lion, you know. I got lion on my wall. We don't have that big canine tooth right there. We don't have that, you know. So put genetics and biology into account. You know, a lot of people, it's like almost like being intelligent and thinking before you act is frowned upon, which is part of the downside for a lot of people. A lot of people are, their bodies have been neglected. You know, I'm 37 years old now, and well, actually I'll be 37 in May, and I've learned a lot. I've had a lot of injuries, and I've had a lot of successes. You know, a lot of successes, but at the same time, a lot of injuries that I've had to learn from because of miseducation. Like for years, I thought that hanging from a pull-up bar was good for stretching your muscles in your back. And in some cases it is, but it's not when you have an injury in your back that you're trying to help. Because like I said before, some of these injuries you have come from neglected muscles. You know, so hopefully you're listening to the words I'm saying closely, you know. If when you have neglected muscles in your back, like a lot of people do, or even neglected muscles in your knees, it can lead to a lot of pain that can be avoided technically if you just are willing to open your horizons and listen to different perspectives. Like I said, I learned this exercise from a physical therapist. Some of you gotta understand there's a difference between a fitness trainer and a physical therapist. A fitness trainer is gonna help you get your goals and build muscle, but a physical therapist is meant to help you heal from damage you've incurred from, you know, because of your own miseducation, or because you're trying to be overzealous, or trying to let vanity guide you in your workouts. You know, that's why you got a lot of people ego lifting, because they're trying to get this vanity. You know, it's all about, you know, almost like the ego leading you down the wrong path. All right, so some of you guys gotta learn to put that to the side and just educate yourself a little bit. So I like to double this up right here. I'm gonna do it again. Actually, I need to take your time. There's no need to rush. A lot of people in a rush. I'm not learning. You gotta take your time. Can be a good thing. So, like I said, I'll show you the back again. And actually, the doctor said that hanging from the pull-up bar is not good for your back muscles when they're strained, especially when they're strained. Because when your muscles are strained, that means there's a problem, right? So a lot of people don't like to listen to their body. And my doctor asked me, where did you hear that from? And of course I told him, the internet. That's what everyone says. That's what every trainer says. That's what everybody on the street says. Hanging from a pull-up bar. Now, hanging from a pull-up bar may be good for spinal decompression, but it doesn't help out those muscles that are already hurt, you know? It's kind of like stretching your muscles when it's cold. I'm only turning my head to hope that you can hear me. I'm not sure if you can hear me like this. But yeah, it's when you're stretching your muscles that are cold, it's only gonna increase your chances of damaging them. The whole purpose of stretching is to reduce your chance of injury, right? So stretching like that is improper because you're ignoring the main cause of the issue, which is the weak, neglected muscles, right? So this is an exercise I had never done until I learned from a physical therapist. Now, some people might say, oh, well, I get on the machine, I grab the one handle, and you grab and you go like this. Doing it one-handed like this is not the same thing as putting both your hands up and pulling them both opposing, because when you're doing both, it causes not only are you working the shoulder, which is obviously you're going to work out the shoulder, but you activate that muscle that's really hard to target in the back, that muscle that causes a lot of issues for people. Like for me specifically, pain for over 10 years that could only be healed temporarily with like muscle relaxers, or like eating a certain diet. I incorporate a lot of spirulina, and eating that stuff is good, but that muscle never really is able to heal, because the main thing was other muscles are neglected, because you have a weak muscle in there that's not being activated. It needs to be activated when you put both hands like this. Hands on the side, palms up, and pull out. When you do that, it causes those muscles in your back to be activated. Hopefully you can see it. Like I have a heating pad right here, and this heating pad has been like my saving grace for years, because heat therapy is a good way to relieve the pain, but relief is only temporary. It's not the real cure. But I remember right after the very first time of trying this exercise, I immediately felt relief. It's like I can't describe it, but immediately felt relief in the muscles. So it just made me a full-hearted believer in using these kind of bands and stuff like that for strengthening your muscles. You don't have to just use go to the gym and use these machines, because some of these machines are so unnatural. Like, how many of you seen people get on the leg press machine? You've probably seen those videos on YouTube or TikTok, Instagram, and it shows an injury. The person is doing leg presses, and right when they're done with the machine, they go and put the little lever to lock it in place, and then their leg pops backward. It hyper extends it. It like hyper extends it. Some people just suffer like a minor hyperextension. Some people, their leg is literally broken. Like they don't even get to reach the lock in time, and it just comes down on their leg. Don't let that be you. Why would you even want to have to suffer from that? Like the saying says, a smart man learns from his lessons. A wise man learns from other people's mistakes. Or the saying is, a smart man learns from his mistake. A wise man learns from other people's mistakes. So then you don't even have to go through it. You see what I'm saying? If you see someone else suffering from it, there's something to be learned there. So then you don't have to go through it yourself. Just like me. For years I was dealing with this pain under my shoulder. I found ways to deal with it, to dull the pain, so that I didn't have to feel it all the time, but still that issue was still there. It would occasionally come up. That's why I had the muscle, the heating pad to help soothe that pain. Because whenever I did like a really hard workout or something, the pain would still come back because I'm not addressing the main issue. So hopefully this message is gonna reach some of you younger people who are trying to use, letting the vanity mislead them and influence them in negative ways. Because it's unnatural for a 21-year-old man to be as big as, Arnold Schwarzenegger in his prime. Just huge. Some of these guys, because they're using the things that are unnatural, these injections, that go in different spots of your body. You know what I'm talking about. So learn from them. If you want, let's put it this way. Science shows that people who use those injections, starts with the S word, use that type of stuff, years down the line, your internal organs will suffer. I've never used them because I just wanted to be able to see what I can do naturally. And then when I got older and actually researched it, thankfully I didn't, because I learned that there's negative side effects that come with that. It's kind of like instant gratification. You get the instant gratification, you get, bigger, quicker, and all that good stuff you can show off or whatever. But the downside of it is when you get older, your internal organs suffer. Their function isn't as great. So yeah, the only people that are going to be grateful that you did those, the S word, those injections at a young age is the hospital. Because you're gonna be funding them paying. You're gonna be paying their light bill. You're gonna be feeding the doctor's family. You're gonna be taking care of their light bill, their expenses. I'm like, thank you. So if anything, they're hopeful that you do that kind of stuff. But like I just said, a wise man learns from other people's mistakes. So learn from their mistakes. The people who were our previous generation, who used that stuff in the dark, because in the past that wasn't as accepted. Yeah, they liked the muscles, but they didn't like the fact that a lot of the people who weren't using it didn't like the fact that you had to use that to get those kind of massive, ridiculous results. Versus nowadays, it's starting to be more accepted. I mean, health and being healthy is starting to be more accepted, but the yin and yang effect, the polar opposite, is starting to be more accepted as well. So it's like, pick your side. It's almost like you have to pick your side. Do you want to be big and buff and strong, but then big and buff and strong while you're young, but then kind of suffering when you get older? Or would you rather just progress at your natural pace, the way that you're supposed to, and then have longevity and be healthier when you get older? I would pick option 2 opposed to option 1. So then at least you can progressively get more and more and more results as years goes on, instead of needing to go to see some other kind of professional for help due to your neglect that you've caused on your own body at a younger age. It's it goes without saying, it's not worth it. You could say on paper it sounds right, but a lot of people, they can let their judgment be impaired by their ego, right? Hopefully that makes sense to you. So people can let the sight of these fast results, they can put the side effects aside. Oh well, who cares? I'll deal with that when it happens. You say that, but when it actually happens and you have to actually deal with it, you're gonna look back down the years and say, man, I wish I didn't do that. I wish I had just done things a little more naturally and try to get my results that way instead of following the trends, because especially in 2025, there's a lot of loopholes for these products. A lot of loopholes for these products to be able to get on the shelf, because as long as within especially the supplement sales, there's a lot of unregulated stuff, because even in some of my past videos, when I talk about something like spirulina, as healthy as it is, you still have to consider the source. Where's it coming from? Where's it coming from? You got to think about that. I'm getting sweaty. I got sweat coming from under my armpit, just dripping down. Talking about this, but you got to consider the source. So, if you got to consider the source with really, really healthy products, imagine the stuff that's not good for you. The stuff you got to think about for the stuff that's not good for you. Do you understand what I'm saying? There's side effects to the instant gratification. The instant gratification of getting the results quickly, artificially, you see? Because we haven't had thousands of years of using it, so our body hasn't had the time to adapt to it. It's just like pollution. Our body hasn't had thousands of years of being in pollution, so that's why people get, sick, all up in the doctor, having to get all different kinds of therapy, because we're suffering from our external environment accelerating faster than our biological environments. You see what I'm saying? So because you haven't had years of being used to having injections and those kind of things with those artificial, the S word, you know what I'm talking about, leave in the comment section below. That's the reason why there's long-term side effects. So be smart and use the tools that we have today in 2025 that our grandparents and stuff like that didn't have. We have the internet. Like literally doctors put modern research that's going on now. You should follow research that's done in the past 10 years, not stuff from 20, 40 years ago, okay? These old school guys, they're stuck in their way. They're gonna follow old school tenets. They're gonna follow they're gonna follow what Arnold Schwarzenegger did back in the day. But there's new stuff that's coming out now to disprove a lot of the things that we were taught growing up when we were younger, you know? A lot of things that are not as good for you as you thought they were. You know, you got to elevate your mind. It's all about growth. You know, the biggest part of learning is understanding sometimes the past ways of thinking need to be changed because everyone's not right, you know? Just because they got 1 million followers, that doesn't mean they're right. Nobody's fact checking a lot of these people that are just spreading their opinion, and then people will just blindly follow it as if it's fact. In fact, and when in fact, that's not a fact. That's funny, right? People spread their opinions like it's fact, and then people blindly follow it like it's fact, when in fact, that's not a fact. Tongue twister for you. Tongue twister for you. Because I've suffered from knee injuries. Like I said, construction baton. Just like the other year, I went running on a rock path and I had a real bad knee injury. My knee, I couldn't walk right for like 2 months because of the injuries I incurred from my youth. You know, in Afghanistan, I'll give you an example. I turned 21 in Afghanistan, came back home for 6 months, and then our CO sent us back. So I turned 21 in Afghanistan and then turned 22 in Afghanistan. Crazy. So while some people were drinking at the bar in 21, I was in Afghanistan, another country where I couldn't even drink. Not allowed to. So the only thing we could do was work out. A lot of people in the military, the only thing they can do, the only thing that you're able to do is work out. And you go to work, and then you go work out. But you need mentors and people who have been through experiences. So yeah, when I was younger, I was listening to bodybuilders, people who are on stage right now, you know, people who were in the military, wanted to be a bodybuilder when they got out. They were training, and I was listening to things from them. And now they're on stage and stuff like that, but they're not doing things naturally. Oh, not 100%. A lot of them aren't, you know. So I take what I can learn from them, you know, the beginning founding principles, and then elevate it. And now I talk about things that no one in my circle is really talking about. No one around here, except for people online. No one's talking about intermittent fasting in my circle. Very small people. No one's talking about anti-C word foods, you know, CAN, you know, for the rest of them. As well as nobody has ever shown me this exercise. Like I said before, I've seen the ones where you get the machine, you get the one hand, and you pull to the side like this. That mostly targets your shoulder and like the rotator cuff. It's a good exercise, but it ain't got nothing on this one. This is like next level because then it like forces the back muscles to activate. It forces it more, like it gets your biology and the way your body works mechanically, because your shoulder isn't just this shoulder blade right here. It goes all the way down to your shoulder blade. That's why your shoulder blades can move. Your shoulder blades can move because it's part of the shoulder. That's part of the articulation that's needed for your body to be able to do these certain moves, you know. You have to be able to move around because our human body is a miraculous machine. God didn't make no mistakes with the human body. If anything, man made mistakes with its incorporation, trying to control the human body and influence the human body with all this other BS that's out there, you know. The human body is meant to heal itself. The human body isn't meant to have all these crazy injections, just like the chickens. Chicken and those animals that we're eating from the stores, they get these artificial injections, and it's not until later down the line that you get the side effects of eating certain types of food that comes from the store. As sad as it is, but there's a way to negate some of those negative side effects as much as possible. It's just eating as best as you can. Check the sources of your food. One of the best supplements I would suggest is spirulina. Most protein dense food. It's got so many benefits in it besides protein. It's got micronutrients in it, vitamins, minerals, antioxidants. Help your body really cleanse and detox. And it's been eaten by the Mayans since when the Mayans were alive. You see, they're not alive anymore because of man. They're not dead because of them, they're dead because of man. Okay? So listen to the message I'm trying to tell you. Okay? So spirulina can still be eaten now, but you got to check the sources of where you get it. Spirulina, the best source of spirulina would be, at least for what's out now, is Hawaii or Japan or some other parts of, like in the States, like maybe California. But a lot of the spirulina you see online that's really, really cheap, as well as these other supplements, come from China. Now, what did we just say? The influence of man is usually the downfall to us humans biologically. Now, what is the biggest influence that China has from man? They have a lot of pollution over there, a lot of over-industrialization over there, and that's the reason why supplements from China, no offense to Chinese people, I love Chinese food. I love Chinese people, I love Chinese culture, but the downside of some of the Chinese products is their over-industrialization, you see. So there's a lot more negative side effects, I should say. A lot more negative stats, negative statistics that will come from getting supplements or products, I should say health products that come from China. Okay? China has, Chinese medicine, good stuff right there. But some of their health products, just like America, they put the dollar before your health. And the same thing is everywhere, worldwide, country, doesn't matter. But Chinese medicine is excellent. But at the same time, when it comes to the artificial stuff, you gotta watch, like the supplements, the pills and stuff like that. I'm just talking frankly now. Liquid nutrition is always gonna be better than a pill. So if you're gonna get something dried, it'd be in your best interest to get it from the best source possible. Of course, if you got spirulina growing in your own natural lake, you got growing in somewhere, that you're on your own land, that'd probably be the best source for you. That's just like well water from the ground is better for you than the store water. But a lot of people don't have that. A lot of people have to order from online. So that's what I'm saying. Check your source, okay? To give your body the best chance of healing. Anyway, the point of this video was to show what I've learned from physical therapists. And I believe wholeheartedly in the benefit of something like as simple as this. You don't have to double it up like I do. You can do a single. For a beginner, more than likely you're gonna need to do a single. And even doing a single, I still feel it in my back. That back muscle, I still feel it. But me, because of the kind of person I am, I want to take it to the next level, so I double it up. Palms up, of course. Give myself a little slack so I can double and wrap it, and then now it's on there nice and tight and secure because I got double up, so that's more resistance. So I need a little more, something to help me hold that a little better for my grip strength. All right, so like I said, hold it here. Elbows to the side. And go out like that. Now hopefully you can see the muscles contracting, right? Now I'm gonna be getting physical therapy on my knees as well as my shoulders, but the physical therapist said I have to start with the shoulders first. So if you're interested in know the progress of the journey and everything as I go through it, leave a comment, like the video so other people can see the video so the message can be spread out. And of course, hit the subscribe button if you want to make sure you see more of the videos. I would suggest you check out some of my other videos. I got a lot of other videos on health topics, helping you get healthy supplements, maybe some workouts for beginners, tips and everything like that. Because something I learned is the biggest room in the world is the room for improvement. You can always improve, right? You don't want to be stuck in your ways, just like some of the older generation, they're stuck in their ways and they don't want to hear nothing about no new research because their granddaddy did it this way, so they're gonna do it this way. But like I said earlier, a wise person learns from others' mistakes. And science, we got scientific research coming out every day. So why would you wait to hear from the doctor how to improve yourself when it's already too late? Or why would you want to wait to hear from the doctor after you've already injured yourself? Right? Think about that. Now, if you want to hear the tips that my physical therapist tells me as I go through this journey, like I said, hit the subscribe button. I guess hit the notification bell. That's what people say, to make sure you get notified so you don't miss nothing. Maybe your feed maybe suggesting some other videos you may be watching. So I guess hit that notification bell if you want to be notified when I post it again. And if I actually get some interest on this topic, I'll make more videos. I hadn't been making many videos on this channel because I wasn't sure if people were really interested. I don't get very many comments on some of my videos, So if I feel like people aren't interested, I feel like I might be wasting my time, so. But if people actually genuinely want to know, and I'm not just wasting my time by sharing stuff, I'll share more. It doesn't take anything. Like literally, I'm not even gonna edit this video. I'm just gonna post it, because people don't know I have a whole other YouTube channel that I work on regularly. And this is just my health channel, health and fitness channel, to help out people, because the information I have to share can help out younger people as well as older people. All right? So hopefully this video is beneficial for you. And remember, always do your research, because these people with the huge subscriber list don't always know what they're talking about, okay? So don't just believe everything they say, Don't just follow what they do, because you might just end up getting hurt, because a lot of them only tell you the positives, and so many people don't tell you the negatives about what they're doing, all right? And what they're using. They don't tell you what they're using. That's just the nature of the beast. So be smart when you're out there. Like I said, do research. Look at the negative side effects of certain foods you're eating, negative side effects of supplements. If you don't believe that there's negative side effects of those injection type of supplements, look it up. A wise person told me, we were having a debate about G-bodies, GMG bodies. They said, Google it and we'll get through it. There you go. You can always start with Google. Just Google any question you have. Google it, we'll get through it, all right? You can see the muscles that are contracting though from this exercise. And the benefit of the cool thing is, you don't need a gym. I'm not at a gym. There's no heavy equipment around me. There's no distracting people. There's no distracting girls or nothing like that. Just me and my thoughts and my healing process, and focus. All right? See you guys later. Peace.